So another foundering car in the Abarth 595C Turismo, and today I'm going to answer the question because I also got that car, Suzuki Swift Sport ZC33S, and they are both 1.4 turbo engine cars. Which one I like the most? And I'm telling it now at the end of summer, and I like, for most rides, if I can just pick, and I'm not limited by practical implications, because otherwise it would be different, but I would like rather pick the Abarth. And why is that? Because the Abarth gives me a mini holiday. And if you would ask me the same question in the winter, I think it will be the other way around. The other thing is that the Suzuki Swift Sport is of course a manual, and a manual gives you more interaction. But because this is also has its flippers on the steering wheel, you get a lot of interaction out of that as well, as you can imagine. And you have interaction with the elements, because you also have the wind blowing through your hair. You feel everything a lot more lively, so to say. But also because this is a shorter wheelbase and makes a lot more noise, this gives you more experience feeling. I'm not saying that this car is more capable than Suzuki Swift Sport Hybrid, because if you would ask me that, which car would be able to do the largest amount of distance in the shortest time, I think the Swift takes it hands down. It's not that big of a difference, but the Swift is very capable at cruising, and also because it has less fuel consumption, you can also manage more distance between fill-ups, which is also a good thing, especially if you're driving longer distances, of course. But this is really for experience my pick, especially during this warmer period that I can drive with the roof down. And of course, this should also be the case. You pay good money also for a second-hand Abarth, and if you cannot enjoy it at where it's best, this being convertible, then I would rather trade it in again and get my money back, instead of keeping it and paying double for two cars, of course. So please take this into consideration, but I really like the Abarth for these short trips. And why is it for short trips so nice? The seating arrangement is not as good as in the Suzuki Swift Sport, so for longer travel I like that a lot more. But it is very good for short trips because it feels pleasant, nice. You don't get cramped at shorter trips with this type of car. So this is perfect in my opinion. And you get all those different impressions, which I really like. And I also love it that it still seats 4 people, so also my children can enjoy the magnificence that is Abarth. Sounds nice, huh? Such a nice snurpy sound. So I have to drive very carefully. Dank je. Not hit the worker. He was blowing leaves. So it's already blowing leaf time, a little bit towards autumn. Still September in the Netherlands. It's quite nice in temperature. Really liking this car, really digging it. Also, those very meaty steering wheel gives you a very good impression. Everything is meaty. Also, for example, the handbrake, all those colors. You also see the red and the white. show you. White details, red lettering. These bucket seats, nice chrome accents, this nice big fat steering wheel. Even as a back passenger, it's very simple type of chair, but still sitting in leather, which is nice. But let me know what you think. Perhaps you also drove both and you would say, no, I would rather pick one over the other. So this Turismo is now tuned. It's at standard like 230 Newton meters and 160 horsepower in the sport map, and now it has 173 horsepower and 310 Newton meters of torque in either the sport or the normal map. So especially the normal map has gained quite a lot of horsepower. The sport map in reality had like 155 horsepower, so that's almost 20 horsepower gain there. But especially the non-sport map, which would be about 130, 140 horsepower, has gained a lot. So that's a good thing. Of course, also Suzuki Swiss Sport Hybrid can be tuned. The nice thing about the Suzuki Swiss Sport Hybrid is that it has 5 doors, it's lighter, and it has all those things for longer trips, also better shares. And it also has that lane hold assist, so you keep within the lanes, and also you have your cruise control, which this car does not have. All those things are nice to have, especially on longer rides. It is very nice to have, because if you go to trajectory measurements, it's very easy to keep the speeds at a certain distance, certain velocity, so to say. Whereas in all those short bursts, it's not that relevant. So it's not a big miss for short trips, but for longer trips it is. If you would ask me in the summer and you would let me drive 200 kilometers single trip, one way and the other way, I think I would opt for the ambulance some room. I think I would opt for the Swift Sport, especially if I would take people with me, because they would have a lot more room. On the other hand, if that would be a trip one day in a week, then also the Abarth would do very fine. Because if you have to do that 5 days in a week, then it will be different. And even in summer, I would opt for the Suzuki Swiss Sport Hybrid. So hope this helps to give you a little bit of insight. I like both cars very much. I think with the addition of the turbo, 1.4 liter 4-cylinder is a very nice type of engine. Perhaps I could even get used to 1.5 3-cylinder as BMW is now using, or the likes of Ford. And even Toyota uses for the Yaris GR, so that could be in the future. But I think I like a 4-cylinder more than I do 3 cylinders. 3 cylinders is a lot more raucous, but I like the top end of a 4-cylinder a lot more. So that's it. Why is that? I will also explain. So the less cylinders, the less revs you have to give to get to the maximum torque, especially, but also often the maximum horsepower. That can be beneficial from day-to-day driving, especially as an enthusiast. It's nice that also if you ring out your car, it still has a top end, so at the top still things are happening, which I really like about 4-cylinder layouts. Well, some more sounds of the Abarth. All this is still in the non-sport mode. The non-sport mode is a little bit more frugal, so to say, especially the shifts up from the automatic are a little bit earlier, so you keep the revs a little bit lower, and you also get some information, for example the fuel economy you can see. And from a day-to-day perspective, I think that's often nicer than the sport. The sport, however, gives you a little bit more of everything. Now I push the sport button, so it sounds a bit more aggressive, it will react a little bit more aggressive, and also tries to make you more mischievous. So especially for shorter bursts, the sport exhaust combo, the sport mode exhaust combo might be the best bet, and especially because for shorter trips gas mileage is not that important, and you like it to be mischievous, so to say. But there's also a thing that Swift Sport doesn't have. There's one mode, and that's always in sport, or compromise between sport and practicality. So that's also something that you have some more feeling of control there. Whereas the Swift, you have the feeling of control on the shifts, of course, and it feels even lighter and more planted, in my opinion. However, that being said, the tire width of the Abarth is a lot wider than that of the Swift Sport, and that gives you the feeling of more grip. But once the grip is released, of course, it will also be quite quite direct. So once you lose grip, it will be losing grip directly. Whereas with the Swift, it feels a little bit more gradual. Hope this helps. Foundering Car out.